Hello YouTube. I know it's been a minute since I've uploaded, but I'm back with a new video. And today's video is actually going to be quite different than my normal makeup videos and teaching you how to do tutorials and get the look. Today I'm actually going to sit down and talk with you guys about something that I've had for a while now and I didn't really know about until relatively recently. And that is my sleep anxiety and sleep paralysis. Before I jump into it, please be sure to subscribe and like this video. That's Mittens, our kitten. Be sure to subscribe and like this video, all that jazz, and let's dive right into it. Okay, so I think I'll first start talking about my sleep anxiety or nighttime anxiety. Different people call it different things, but it all is relatively the same thing. And I think Mittens is being very vocal right now. I first realized that I actually had this probably when I think I was 16 or 17 when I first realized that I don't have a normal sleep cycle and there's something bigger than me just not being tired. And I've always been afraid of the dark my whole life. I've always hated going to sleep since I was a little child. You can ask my mom, she'll tell you all about it. I hated to sleep by myself. I hated to sleep in my own room. I hated to be in the dark. So probably from the time I was, I don't know, maybe 3 to middle school, I used to sleep in my mom's bed all the time, especially after my parents got divorced. I literally slept every night in my bed. There's no point in having a room because I was never in there. I got older, I got better obviously sleeping in my room, but I still to this day I'm afraid of the dark. I sleep with a night light. I have other little night lights. I don't sleep in pitch black. I don't think I ever really could. And I think the first time I noticed that I don't want to say a fear of sleeping because that's not really what it is. That's a different thing. But I get, not that I have a fear of sleeping or anything, it's very hard for me to fall asleep. And it's not that I don't get tired or anything. But most people when they have sleep anxiety or nighttime anxiety or whatever you want to call it, they get scared of things that are more realistic than I do. So for instance, most people have it when they lay awake at night and they think of all the bills they have to pay and their grades and all these general normal things that a person would think of. What I do and why mine's a little different is I will be completely tired. I could be 100% completely exhausted, but the second I lay down in bed, I think of all the possible dangerous and harmful and scary things that could happen to me at night. So for instance, one of the things that keeps me awake at night, one of the things that I constantly think about is being kidnapped or having someone break into the house or break into my apartment, because I do live in an apartment. I go to school. I have 2 roommates that I love, and we do live in an apartment. And even though it's very unrealistic because we live in such a high security, secure building, you have to have multiple keys to get into multiple places, and then we're also on the 15th floor, so the likelihood of someone coming all the way up here is just it's really unpractical, and we live in a safe place. But that's the thing that keeps me up at night, and I constantly will get up in the middle of the night, check to make sure the door is locked, check to make sure things are left the way I left them. That's what gets me very anxious at night, and it's hard for me to sleep because I think of all those things. I think of all the different people who have been kidnapped out of their room, because there are cases where girls have literally been stolen from their bed. And I think of just all these, the possibility that someone might already be in here. Maybe your roommate forgot to lock the door when she left and someone got in here, and it gets me really bad. I don't know. It's something that I struggle with, and it got worse as I went to college. Last year it was probably the worst it's ever been, because I was a freshman in college. I was living in a dorm, and it was the first time I was really on my own. And at my mom's house, I have my mom there all the time, obviously, and then I also have my older brother who used to live there all the time, and he used to live right across from me. His room was directly, his door, my door face each other. So I never felt afraid when he was in the house because I knew if something was there, he kind of was there to protect us. Plus, we also had 3 dogs, 2 of which were big standard poodles who would easily harm someone if someone broke in, and we lived in a very secluded, safe neighborhood. So it wasn't as bad because I knew if something were to happen to me, there were so many people around. Whereas freshman year, I lived in a dorm with obviously one other roommate, and we were on the first floor of a building, the first dorm when you walked in that hall. And though the dorms where I go to school are very secure, and it is harder to get in access to a building because you need a key and then you need all this different stuff and your key has to be programmed for that building. But it worried me because I was like, if someone's gonna come in, we're the first door. And it was really bad. Fall asleep on a typical day around somewhere between 3 and 4. That's the average. I normally don't go to bed earlier than that. Even if I'm the tiredest I've ever been, I still won't be able to sleep till then. And there are a lot of days where I can't fall asleep until I literally see the sun start to rise. I'm like, oh, it's daylight, nothing can happen to me in the daylight, which I know is irrational because truthfully, if someone's going to hurt you, they're going to do it day or night. It doesn't really matter. Like, if that's their motivation, they're going to do it. But I don't know. I don't want to say I've always been like that, but definitely since I was 16, that's been like the reason why I don't sleep. And I think because I've had it for so long and I deal with it for so long, I'm almost 20, that it doesn't really bother me. Not that it's good for my body that I get such an odd amount of sleep and I go to sleep so late, but I'm so used to it that I can function doing it. So yeah, I've talked to my mom about this, who, I don't know, you guys probably don't know this, but my mom is a licensed psychiatrist. She went to med school, she's done all that, she has her own practice, she's been practicing my whole life and longer. So I talked to her about this, and it's a very real thing. It's not made up, you can look it up. A lot of people have it, and most people don't know they have it, because I thought I literally just had insomnia, I just couldn't fall asleep, but I saw a video on someone speaking about this, and I realized that's basically what I have. So I asked her about it, and it's a real thing. You might have it, you might not have it. If you don't have it, lucky you. You're not afraid of everything like I am. My sleep anxiety also goes hand in hand with my sleep paralysis. Now, I don't know if you guys know what sleep paralysis is, but based on like what most people think it is and compared to what I have, they're very different, but very similar at the same time. So basically, sleep paralysis is when you wake up abruptly in the middle of your REM cycle, I believe. And for whatever reason, you wake up and your mind's awake, but your body isn't. And a lot of people, whenever you have it, you experience it, you can't move. And a lot of people have really creepy things and scary things happen to them, like they see people in their room or they see like demons or whatever. I have never had that, thank God. I'd literally have a heart attack, and I don't think I'd ever go to sleep if I had that, because like I said, I'm the most scared person in the entire world. And I had no idea what this was up until like 6 months ago when I saw Shane Dawson's video on sleep paralysis. I looked into it, and I looked into like a bunch of other people. Again, I asked my mom, I asked a few people. My roommate, one of my roommates also has it too. She gets it from time to time. And I realized this is what I've had. So the first time I ever got it, I want to say it's my senior year of high school, and I used to always, especially in the winter, growing up, when I would come home from school, I would lay on my mom's bed, because my mom has a big, comfortable bed, and she has just a room that's very cozy, and it was safe. So me and my dogs would lay in her bed, and we'd watch whatever was on TV, whatever we felt like watching at the time. And then I always would take a nap. That was like a thing that I used to do all the time because I never would sleep, so I used to nap a lot. And I don't nap as much anymore just because I find that I don't need it. I'm not having those like intense days that I used to have in high school, because college is very different than high school. You don't go to school for 6-8 hours straight, you know? I was taking a nap, and I remember I woke up once, and for the longest time in my whole life, one of my biggest fears, if not my biggest fear, was choking. For some reason, it was like right next to my mouth. It wasn't over it. I remember I couldn't move, and I was so scared because I was trying so hard to get it away from my mouth, because I thought that it was going to cover my face and I was going to choke and not be able to breathe. And I remember feeling like I was like literally restrained, and I could feel myself moving, but I knew I wasn't because nothing was moving around me. And it was like the scariest feeling. And then I ended up, somehow I calmed myself down. I fell back to sleep, and then I woke up finally fully awake, and I was able to move the blanket, and I don't want to say I was scared, because I wasn't nervous after, but it was a weird feeling. You kind of felt like dazed. I was very dazed and very confused when it first happened. I don't get sleep paralysis every night. I don't get it that often. And I've noticed I get it more if I nap. I don't normally get it if I'm waking up from an actual like night's sleep, because again, I don't really sleep at night, so I don't really know what a good night's sleep is. But if I nap during the day, I tend to have it more. And I get it probably once every 2 months, once a month, and it's always kind of the same thing. And since I've got it so much since I was like 17, 18, that I know it's happening, and I'm having it, and I know it's like when I wake up that, oh, that's the sleep paralysis. So I just like slow my breathing, calm myself down, and I fall back asleep. And then in the next, however, I don't know how long it takes for me to actually wake up. Could be 2 minutes, could be 2 hours. You never know when you're asleep. And then I wake up and I'm fine. I think a lot of people have these and don't even realize that it's something that happens to them, because I didn't. I thought this was like a normal thing, and I never really like said anything about it or like looked into it until I saw, like I said, until I saw a video on YouTube about it. And that really helped me to understand like what was happening to me and why my sleeping habits are the way that they are and why I'm different. You know, it's just different, and it's hard, and it's something that I don't think I'll ever really figure out a way to control it or cure it. I mean, I'm sure there's probably medicines out there, but I don't know, I don't want to rely on a sleep aid to help me for like the rest of my life, because then it becomes habit forming. Even if it says it's not habit forming, it is always habit forming. I find it helpful when people share their experiences on YouTube and stuff, because it helps me kind of relate to my life and helps me figure out my own things that are going on. So hopefully you guys found it helpful. And if you did find this somewhat helpful, if you learned anything, if this was at the bare minimum entertaining for you to watch, then give me a thumbs up and subscribe, because you very well know that thumbs up help me and my content be shared with people who wouldn't normally see it. And like I said, I know this is a very different video than my average makeup tutorial and such, but I figured it was something that I have dealt with for a long time, and I'm sure I know that there are many people out there who go through either one of these things or both of them, and I think it's good that, you know, I want to help people who go through the same thing as me. So hopefully that's what I did. So my next video should be another makeup video, but who's to say? But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. And I will see you guys next time in my next video. Remember, you don't need makeup to be beautiful or beauty sleep, because I never get any of that. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.